friends, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Alana. For this video, I am going to be sharing my February TBR. Alright, so I can't believe we're already in the month of February in 2026, but here we are. I feel like, for the most part, January, at least so far as I'm filming this, has been a decent reading time. Like, I've literally been reading every day. I haven't been finishing books as often as I probably should be, but I'm at least reading every day, and I've finished a couple. Some might not have been on my TBR like I originally planned, but that's besides the point. I'm still finishing stuff, and I'm still reading. But I realized, like, before I started filming that I don't even know what I want to read in February, but I still like having, like, the planning feeling of having a TBR, but I've also been enjoying being a mood reader too. I'm gonna do what I did last time, which is I have my 3 jars that I'm gonna pull from, and I'm gonna do the roll for my bingo as well, but also kind of choose for my TBR and what I'm feeling or where my brain is going with what I'm thinking I want to read for the month. So first things first, last time I told you guys how I have a bingo that I do, where that I'm doing this year, where I have 20 spaces that each have a specific type of reading prompt or channel prompt, and my goal is to complete all of them by the end of the year. And so I have this die here with 20 spaces, and I'm gonna roll it each TBR and just at least once. I did it twice last month because I had the room for it, but at least once, and then we'll go from there. So let me turn my camera on, and I'm going to roll and record real quick, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so as you can see, I drew 16, which is a dystopian. Oh man, now I have to figure that out, because I wrote this down, but I don't have one in mind at the moment, so that's fun. Well, putting that on my list, so now I have to read a dystopian. Cool. Everything's fine. And now I'm gonna pull from my 3 different jars. So I have a prompt jar that I'm gonna pull from, and then this one has specific books that I've had on my shelves for a while now. I'm all labeled in here, so I'll probably pull like maybe 2 from here, 2 from here. And then this is my like special edition jar, which I'll pull 1 from here. It's usually like my Fairy Loot or my Illumicrate books that I haven't really been picking up as fast as I should, so we'll go with that too. So we'll start with the prompt jar. I'll pick 2, and it'll give me 2 prompts that I should fulfill, and then I can just pick from my shelves from there. I'll pick from the bottom. So this one, to read a romance book. Okay, cool. I have plenty that I can pick up from here, so that's actually a perfect one, especially because February has Valentine's Day, so what a way to go with the theme, I guess. This one. Oldest on TBR. Alright, so I picked my 2 prompts. Next, I'm going to do 2 regular book picks. Let's see what the jar has in store for me. Last month it wasn't too bad. I feel like the picks weren't terrible, so we'll see what this one is. The Beast Player. This is a book I bought a while ago because I fell in love with the anime of this story, and I didn't realize, I don't know if the book came first or the anime came first, but either way I didn't realize there was a book. And so I was intrigued to see what the difference and similarities are between the anime and the book story, so I'm definitely intrigued to check that out. And then, let's see. Fat Chance Charlie Vega by Crystal Maldonado. Okay, cool. I like that one. It's a cute little YA. And then our last jar is my special edition jar, and this one is kind of flowing, but we'll see. Alright, we're gonna go right here. A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. I know this is a fantasy, but that's about it. Alright, so give me a second to go and look for some books to fit these prompts, and then I will be right back. So I am back, and I have all of my books. So first things first, I don't have my copies of Charlie Vega or The Beast Player, so I'll put pictures up, but we'll talk about these 2 first. So Fat Chance for Charlie Vega is about a girl named Charlie who is brown and fat, and she is really struggling with the fact that, one, her mom just can't accept like who she is and how her body is, but she also struggles with self-confidence, especially when she finds out that this boy that is starting to show interest in her had actually asked her best friend out before he asked her out. And so it seems like it's kind of like a coming of age story of just like trying to love yourself while like everybody else is telling you that you shouldn't, and figuring out how that works and what that looks like. So I'm really excited. I was definitely interested when I bought this book, so I'm really excited to finally get a chance to read it. For The Beast Player by Nihoko Uehashi. This follows a little girl who grows up in this world where her village takes care of these lizard beasts for the kingdom that she lives in. Her mother is one of the top caretakers. Unfortunately, something happens and some of these beasts die, and her mother ends up taking the blame for it. And so her mother's last act is to save her and basically like make sure she gets away before they could like come for her too. And ultimately what happens is she ends up in the neighboring kingdom. And I don't know how close it is to the anime, but with the anime, she's adopted by this beekeeper who like helps her heal and also teaches her like another love for animals. And from there, she develops an interest in the beasts of that kingdom. And so she decides to become a beast tamer. And unfortunately, because of the way that she goes about doing this, she catches the eyes of a lot of power political players in the kingdoms that are trying to make power moves, and she gets kind of swept up in these moves. I loved the story with the anime. It was very touching, very sweet, and I'm really intrigued to see how the book goes about it. Bingo Roll, which was a dystopian, and I was really racking my brain because I'd read all of Hunger Games last year, and so I was like, I don't know if I have any dystopians in mind. The only one I knew of was Red Rising, but I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to read that yet. So I don't know if Red Rising is the one I want to choose. So I had to resort to Google because I was like, I am not as knowledgeable about dystopians, and so I don't know which books classify and which don't. But I managed to find a book that I actually own, and this is what I meant to read in January, but I unfortunately don't think I'm going to get around to reading it yet, so this will be perfect that I can just read it the next month. And that is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This is supposed to be like a post-apocalyptic dystopian. I believe the author was a Holocaust survivor, so I think there's like a haunting element in the story as well that may play a role in. From what I understand, the synopsis is there is like an underground bunker where 39 women are being held, and they go through like day-to-day life like this, not really knowing why they're down there, not really knowing what's going on. And then all of a sudden, this girl ends up drawing attention to herself, and she may be the key to the women escaping. I've been intrigued by this since I first heard about it, so I'm really hoping I enjoy it, and I kind of feel like it's gonna hit hard, and I'm okay with that. Alright, next I have my 2 prompt picks. So I have the oldest book on my TBR, which for this one it was hard because I was like, I don't know. So I went with publication year. And I actually just decided to do Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen because I love Pride and Prejudice so much, and I've actually developed an interest in reading Sense and Sensibility. I think I watched a movie adaptation of it like last year at some point, and I was really intrigued by it. So it made me want to pick up the book and check it out. And I just got this like really, really pretty edition. It's about 2 sisters who both kind of lead through life in very different ways. And so when they both experience love, it starts to make them question if the way that they go about life is right. Alright, next, my last prompt was to read a romance. So for that one, I picked up Tilly in Technicolor by Maisie Eddings. I remember I bought this and I was really obsessed with the cover, to be honest. And I decided I wanted to pick it up, and then I read the synopsis, and I was even more obsessed with this. So it follows a woman who has ADHD and a man who has autism. And so the woman with ADHD, she is kind of just making it through life, trying to figure out what she wants, and she's just very unsure, whereas the man, he knows what he wants, and he's very set on what he wants. And it's so funny because they meet on a flight, and then they're stuck together for an entire summer, and from there romance blossoms. Alright, and then my last pull was my Fairy Loot pick, and that is A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. This is my Fairy Loot edition. So this kind of gives me like Swan Lake, or like the Princess Swan vibes. This follows a changeling who is actually a spy who is sent on a mission to bring back a stolen princess, but then as she's on this mission, she starts to question whether she's been told the whole truth, and I think there's something to do with her entering in the Fae world as well. And then I gotta add that I am still participating in the Buzzword Challenge. So I have 2 books to fit both of the prompts for February. The first prompt is keyboard keys, and then the second prompt is silhouettes. So for the first prompt, I have Violet Thistlewaite Is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krimholtz. This one, I'm using the A in here because there's an A key, so I figured this would count. And then this follows a woman who used to be, I think she was like the assistant to a henchman, and then he dies, and so she decides to take this as a second chance to reinvent herself, moves to a small town, and I think starts like some type of shop or something. So I think this is a cozy fantasy, and I'm really excited to check it out. I've heard good things. And then the second prompt for this the Buzzword Challenge, the covers edition, is silhouettes. And so for that one, I'm going to do the Crescent Moon Tea Room. And if you look here, there's silhouettes in the window by Stacy Savinsky. And I think this is it's about 3 sisters who own a tea room. And I think they've been super close, but their magic, I think them developing in their magic like kind of divides them in some way, and then it like goes from there. I'm really intrigued to read this. I've also heard really good things, so super excited. Alright, so those are all the books that I'm going to be reading in February. I'm sure I'm going to be mood reading and adding things in, so you'll find out what those things will be at the end of the month. But hopefully you enjoyed watching this. Let me know what you will be reading down below. Let me know any books you're excited that are coming out in February, anything like that. I love talking to you guys. Alright, you are all Sunflowers and Wolf Blooms.